You see, difference between Ghana and Nigeria, if you want to know right now, is Nigeria, even though it went into electronic computerized music, maintained live performance.
Right.
You know, you can be a musician in Nigeria, play in public, and you can live on the money. In Ghana, you can't. The money for the live musician in Ghana is so poor. So one of the first things is maybe the Ghanaian government or Ministry of Culture or whoever have to do something about the remuneration for live artists in Ghana, because it's very, very important to have live music. So in Nigeria they have the live musicians, but they also have the computer musicians. In Ghana, a lot of the live musicians are having a very tough time. So I would say, but you will not be able to just depend on going to the music of the past. But of course you have to have it. This is why if you don't have live music in your system, even the ideas of computerized musicians will dry up.
Right.
They will have to have the live music, the clubs, to listen to new ideas and so on. So it's very vital to have live music, a live music scene. And the Ghanaian live music scene collapsed in the 80s and 90s during the military era, and it's never fully recovered. Whereas in Nigeria, they always maintain their live music scene. I mean, if you go to any African country, even if they will have computer music, they will also have a live music scene. But in Ghana, for a long time, we had this lip-syncing, miming,
lip-syncing and
you know,
miming,
which is deadly. It's a deadly, deadly thing. It's a killer as far as music goes. Because it's very difficult to create new ideas when you're miming, because a lot of your ideas when you're, as a musician, occur on the spot.
Live.
Yes, and even with traditional music, you know, a traditional drummer can be inspired by a dancer to create a new beat. And people like King Bruce and these guys used to tell me sometimes they'll see somebody in the audience doing some moves and they'll come up with an idea. And also sometimes when you're playing live, you make a mistake, but you discover it's not a mistake. It's something creative. But if you're miming, everything is already set in stone. You can't do anything. You're actually, when you're miming, you become your own slave. Because what you did in a recording studio, you have to repeat like a parrot. You have to parrot yourself. But it's not a very, what would I say, creative thing to do. But the good thing in Ghana now is a lot of the youth are coming through that now. They're starting to perform live again. Everybody tries to go back to live performance. But the Nigerians are ahead of us there. They never let their live music disappear, even when new forms of music came. So the best way I could explain this is it's like an onion. You have your old music, and the next layer is your high life music, and the third layer is your electronic music, and they all play a part because they do interact with each other in people's minds. But if you of the opinion say that, oh, my music is now the superior music, so all the other musics should die, your music will also die.
Right.
Because it has to have sustenance, which is the older forms of music. Sorry, I'm using the onion as a sort of a metaphor.
I get you. And I'm going to ask you a very controversial question. I hope you answer. But given the chance to be a judge, would you say our high life music is better than that of Nigeria?
That's difficult for me to say because, you know, I've also played with Nigerian high life musicians. And, you know, right now in Nigeria, there are 17 varieties of high life. I don't know if we even have 17 varieties in Ghana. So that would be a very difficult. You see, high life itself, when it spread between Ghana and Nigeria and other West African countries, it took root in other countries.
Right.
And so you get what you might call ethnic variations of high life in Nigeria. And you can't say one is better than the other. All you can say is that there must be something about high life which is very great because it's spread into so many West African countries and there's so many varieties, and that Ghanaians should be proud that they started the ball rolling. But even if you look into early high life music, the very earliest high life music, you still see some other non-Ghanaian ingredients. I was mentioning West Indian soldiers bringing Afro-Caribbean music way back in the 1880s and 90s, or Crew Liberian sailors bringing techniques of playing the guitar. So even high life is partly Pan-African. I would even say that really high life music is ECOWAS music. It's a Pan-African ECOWAS music that's been distilled between several West African countries, although Ghana has to take the limelight a little bit because the name was invented, and E.T. Mensa came from here. But it's a sort of it's an ECOWAS national or international resource. And when it takes root in different countries, it goes into different forms. And there's a professor at Legon called Professor Austin Emielu, who has been writing on the Nigerian variants of high life. And even when I was in Nigeria in the 70s, I played with some high life bands there. So I don't want to compare one is richer or not richer, because it belongs to everybody.
Right.
So we're talking about ECOWAS music. High life is not just for Ghana, it's for ECOWAS.